Hi guys, I've recently started playing Conan Exiles. I know I'm really late to the party on this one, but a lot of the information I found pertaining to the early game progression and where to get resources was really out of date or non-existent. And I thought I'd put together a video for anyone that's also starting to play the game now. This hopefully will help you find your first early game sources of iron, brimstone and crystal. Now crystal probably won't be particularly useful, but you are going to probably want iron and brimstone before you start moving out from the starter area. So I have literally only just started this character. She's level 13, just got the basic equipment I need on there, haven't even got any armor on. Attributes very low, just put them into strength, survival and encumbrance. And I'm on the western side of the sort of starting area. Now, where I want to go to is where I'm looking at there is those statues in the distance. Those are the sentinels. And they are about here. They're kind of in the line between G and H4. And what we want to do is we kind of want to go from there, along that northern edge of that island we're seeing. We're going to go up around the back of that lake, up over the top there, jump over the cliffs and then circle back. That will get us enough iron, most likely, to at least start building things like our blacksmith. Now, we might have to do 2 runs on that to get the blacksmith done, but once we've done that, you're going to easily get, like, 50 to 70 iron once you've cooked it up. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that route now. Right, so I should be just about to discover the sentinels. There we go. Now, here we go. We want to go to the north side of the river here. And where we're going to is where I'm looking directly ahead there, the eastern side of that little ridge there. And that's where we're going to start collecting the iron. We're going to follow all the way along there, and then we're going to go up over the back where the lake is. Now, do be careful on this side of the river. There are hyenas, and there is a hyena boss that likes to spawn around here. If you do get attacked by a hyena boss, just run into the water. Unless you feel confident taking it on. Normal hyenas, you can nuke easily enough. You see, that's with a stone sword. They're not particularly tough. Right, here we are. We're at the far end of that ridge, and we're just going to start collecting the iron. So, we've got a node here. And as you can see, I'm not getting much iron at all because I've only got stone tools. Right, so there's 4 nodes here along this little cliff face. And now we go down to the feet of this sentinel. There's some more here. So, had to deal with a couple of hyenas there. Right, now there's another one here just past the left hand side of the sentinel. There's another little node here. And up over the back of that node there's another one here. And now we're just going to climb up this little cliff face here. And up here there's another one next to, for some reason, an embedded dismembered body. Which is, I'm assuming that's meant to have been crushed by a boulder or something? I don't know. Right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to come down this cliff and we're going to go over the back of that lake that we're going to see. So we go around this corner here and there's a lake over here. Now do be careful. There is quite a nasty crocodile boss here. Be prepared to run. Don't use up all your stamina, basically. Because it will nuke you in one hit. Like with what I'm wearing now, it would nuke me in one go. That's it there. So just try to avoid that. Oh, I think I've got his attention. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just going to get this over the other side of the lake and then come back. Right guys, so I had to draw the crocodile off and it got to night time. Thought I'd better wait till daytime. So as you see, I'm on the north side of that little lake there, sort of northwest of the sentinels, and there's a couple of iron nodes around the corner here. They're kind of hidden up against the cliff. Right, now what we're going to do, we're going to run up around the back of there where we found the iron. As you see, there's another one in the corner of the cliff ahead of us there. And now what we're going to do is going to follow this up and round to the left. And we're just going to follow this line all the way up to up there. And there's 3 nodes up here. Right, now what we're going to do is going to jump over this cliff here, and we're just going to kind of slide down the other side. So we can jump over here, and oh, there we go. Oh, yeah, maybe don't do it quite like that. Right, now up here there is quite a bit of iron, so let me just show you where we are. We're on the left hand side of that lake. There is a camp up here and you start to encounter spiders. So what I would do is not go beyond this kind of marker here. Let's deal with this guy. Oh, and there's a sandstorm incoming. Well, that was lucky. Look, I managed to just about find cover right up against this cliff, which seems like it's not much shelter at all. So, as I was saying, we're on the left-hand side or the western side of that lake there, and follow this only up to where you see this marker up here. This marker here is a camp. Beyond that camp, you start encountering spiders, which is something you don't probably want to deal with if you're really low level. If you're comfortable with it, fair enough, go for it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and clear this camp here. Going to have to get myself a little bit of food. Gotta love that cripple on the double-handed swords, didn't you? Right, so we'll start working our way back down this cliff. So we'll start with this iron deposit here. So, made a friend. Right, let's go on with the rest of these iron deposits. So, just going to follow this cliff round and back towards the lake. This iron deposit here is where I was hiding from the sandstorm. Right, and that's me back at the Sentinel. I got 127 iron ore, and that was using a stone pick. The next route, I would say, you want to wait till you've got iron. So that route there, doing that route twice, would get you enough to get yourself iron tools, some armor, and things like that. But I'm going to show you can do it with this setup if you're confident, and you'll get yourself an absolute ton of iron. Right, guys, so for this one, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be starting at the lake we were at before. So this little lake here. And we're going to go up through here and we're going to go to the left. There's a kind of little valley around this area here in F5 where we're going to find a lot of iron. Now, once again, I need to reiterate, if you're not confident in your fighting with sort of stone tools, or you don't want to risk losing things, then wait until you've got iron and a thrall with you. And ideally, having a thrall would allow you to bring a lot more back. Also, whatever you do, make sure that your water skin is full, because you are going to get really thirsty up here. So we're just going to follow straight up here. It's a little bit misty at the moment, but as you can see, there's a kind of a path up there, and there's a tree up there. We're going to go straight up through that path. Right, at this tree, we're going to bear to the left. And up the top here, on this plane, what we're looking for is that construction ahead of us. That's the Tower of Bats. You will go there later on. And you want to go towards that canyon with that on your right. Now do be careful, a really nasty scorpion boss spawns up here. There's also some creatures we're going to probably have to fight here. That's the scorpion boss, stay away from that. They're called rock noses, I think, and what they do is they're going to jump out of the ground and attack you. Just try to avoid them. Apart from them, though, that is the only danger you really have to contend with here. So as you can see, he's going into the ground there. So let's cripple him. There you go. As you see, they like to try and hit you with their nose. But they do telegraph their attacks quite easily, as you can see. They're a bit tough to take on with stone weapons, as you can see. it's worth hitting these with your pick because you might potentially get brimstone out of them. Or crystal. Right, okay, so now this is where we start getting our iron. As you can see, there's a few deposits here. And what we're going to do is we're going to follow up the side here. There's a little way here, but let's just get this iron first. Right, and now what we're going to do is we can either go down there and follow around to the left, but personally I like going up to the left here. Some more iron here. As you can see, holy iron deposit, Batman. And then up on this side here, there's even more. Now, like I said, do be really careful because those things are going to pop out the ground. But there's more than enough iron here for you to completely fill up your inventory. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mine all of this, and I will show you how much you can potentially come back with. While I'm in the middle of doing this collecting, what I wanted to show was that you do kind of want to at least have yourself a spear or a pike. I'm using a stone pike here, just because it gives you a lot of extra range and it has that bleed effect, and it also has a nice little stun. It is very useful for taking on these guys because they do like to cluster up on you. So being able to do this is quite nice. Right, so I cleared that little area out down there, and I got myself 199 iron, which would be enough to make myself a blacksmith and an iron tool, which means I'll be able to come up here and get a lot more, or collect the other stuff a lot more efficiently. Once again, I would say if you're confident, come up here, try this. It's definitely a good way to start off. And early game, you can just get yourself all the iron you need straight up. I mean, if I were to, let's just drop all this here, I could easily carry a lot more iron back home. Right, so that is the first iron runs. And just to reiterate this one, we started up from the northwest of the Sentinels. We went up here and we just followed around to, once we got to this plain up here, we turned to the left, kept the Tower of Bats on our right, and went through that little valley. Those are two places I've found really useful when I've been starting the game. Now to show you where to get an early source of brimstone. To get the brimstone, we're going to start in a very similar place to where we did our first iron run. So this is the Sentinels here, and to do our iron run, we kind of started here. Well, where we want to go is just literally round the corner from those cliffs. We just want to go the opposite direction. Now we're going to go into a cave in there, and there is going to be a boss creature and potentially another boss creature as well that will spawn, like one of these random demon ones. Now I am doing this when I've got iron tools because you wouldn't really need brimstone until you've got iron anyway. I've got myself a couple of bits of armour. Now if there's any sort of discrepancies you see on the stats here, it's because I actually had this game just completely wiped for no reason. So yeah, I had to rebuild it and rebuild what I was building here. So yeah, so things which might be a little bit funky, I had to pop into admin mode. Also, I just want to point out, I didn't die in admin mode of thirst right next to the water. You can't prove that happened. Right, so what I'm going to do is going to go to that starting point and we'll go from there. Right, so here we are. We're at the same point where we'd start from the iron before. As you can see, this is where we'd get the first iron node. And over there is the cliffs. We're just going to run around those cliffs, follow them, and they'll take you up to the cave. Now we are going to be dealing with crocodiles in here. I would say early game, maybe an iron pike is probably better to go for, or some sort of spear weapon. Right, so here we are. Now, as we first go into here, you're going to see some brimstone straight away. Let's get out the torch. Here we go. And as you come down into here, there's going to be a couple of crocodiles to deal with. Once you've cleared them out, this is kind of a safe area to collect yourself some brimstone. Right, so that's the crocodiles dealt with. Now, in this first area here, this side of that archway, you're pretty much safe. There won't be any nasty spawn, I don't believe. And if they do, anything that spawns in here, if it's got blue eyes, just run outside to the point it despawns, and then you can come back in safely. Right, so let's get all this. So just from that starting area, I've got myself 56 brimstone, and that's with an unupgraded iron tool. With better tools, you get much more here. So let's deal with this guy. So if you have a decent thrall, what you can then do is go through to this side. And in fact, you can kind of mine on this side without the boss getting too antsy. And I'll just show you the area you can go up to on that. So let's just clear out these basic little crocodiles. So you can definitely get these first couple of little bits of brimstone around here without the crocodile getting too pissy. So let's run over here. You can definitely grab this one, I know that for sure. Now, once you kind of step beyond that little bit of gloop there, he probably will start attacking. So let's kind of work our way forwards. No. Oh, there he is. Right, time to run. Right, so here we are outside again. That main boss won't follow you outside. And if he does, if you just run down this hill until the point where he despawns, he'll just respawn back inside there. Any other sort of demon boss you encounter, if you run out here, they'll despawn and they won't reappear inside. Now I managed to get myself 111 brimstone there, which like I said is fairly good for having just iron tools that aren't even improved. And once again, if you did have a thrall or you had better armour and gear, you could probably take that boss on your own. I know I have done in the past. Right, okay, so now onto the crystal. For the crystal, where we're going is the opposite side of the river. We're literally just going to go straight over there where you can see this Galaman's tomb where we just went and got the brimstone. There's a load of crystal over here and you're going to fight those little ape thingies. Just literally go across the river and you kind of can't really miss it as long as you're directly south of that area that you just went and got the brimstone from. Right, so here I am on the south bank of that river, and a good way to know if you're going the right direction is if you've got this kind of archway here on your left and you've got that big tree ahead of you. Just literally go straight ahead over the hill and back down and you will find this cave that we're looking for. That's where we're going ahead of us there, so let's just clear everything out. Right, so here we are, entrance to the cave, and as soon as we go in is Hanuman's Grotto. Probably should have mentioned where the last place was. Right, okay, so we're going in here, and as we go down, you can start seeing crystal straight away, basically. As you see, you're getting tons of it. Helps if I pay attention to the enemies that are here. As I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, you're going to find tons of it down here. I mean, even before we start going through the cave, I'm going to have 100 of this crystal easily. Yeah, I've just barely scratched the surface of this little area here and I've got 194 crystal. And if you keep following this all the way down, there's an area over here, which I'd say if you go through there is it's a cool little story thing. I don't really want to ruin it for anyone. We used to say in there you're going to find an area with even more crystal and a statue. Right guys, so I hope you found that useful and I hope it was easy to follow along where to find those things. As you can see, you don't actually have to leave the southern river area to get what you need to progress along the steel route. Obviously you will need to travel if you want to get yourself thick hide, but along the steel route and sort of progressing along that metal, you would be able to get everything you need down here. There are better places to do it, but down here is you could do this if you weren't confident in moving into the harder areas. I found it particularly frustrating to sort of figure out good spots to go to. So I hope you guys found this useful. If you got any questions, please throw them in the comments section. Please obviously throw any feedback you have. Catch you all soon guys. Have fun.